So we are going to start just in a little seated position. So knees bent, hang on to your knees. And from here, we will work our way down to the ground, but just to do a little quick get involved with the spine. So we're just going to take a little seated cat-cow here. Inhale, lift your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades. And as you exhale, just hang on to your knees, round back a little bit and feel the space between your shoulder blades. Inhale to lift your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades, and then exhale to round your back. And then we're just going to do that one more time. Inhale to lift your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades. Exhale to round, and then keep that rounded back, curl your tailbone under, and then with a little bit of a drag of the hands. So push your hands into the outsides of the thighs. We're going to roll our way down to the ground. And then once you found your way down, just for a moment, pause, doing absolutely nothing. And we're just going to take a quick second to tune in. Notice how your body's feeling. How's your back feeling? How's your energy level? Did you get enough sleep last night? All that good stuff. And then just know that you make your adjustments throughout the class that work good for the body that you're working in today. So if anything's going on, if your back is injured or you're rehabbing anything, make sure that you just be super mindful to treat those areas with kindness. But once you feel like you know what's going on, we're going to start to take it right into some windshield wipers, dropping the knees side to side. If you like, you can bring your arms into a cactus or goalpost position. So your arms are bent in a 90-degree, palms facing up. And we're just taking those knees side to side just to bring a little fluidity into the hips, a little stretch into the back. And then you might pick up a little bit more information here. How are your hips feeling? How's your back feeling? How's your butt feeling? You're already halfway there. We got 15 seconds left. Hi, Mara. Good morning, Mara. Mara, we need our theraband and our hand weights this morning. So if you want to grab them real quick, we got 3 seconds left of these windshield wipers. All right, and then bring it back up. So knees in the center, walk your feet in so that they're a little closer to the butt, feet about hip width distance apart. We're gonna move right into some rolling hip bridges. So you're gonna curl your tailbone up, roll up, think rolling up through the vertebrae of the spine, and then drop the sternum down, roll back down through the spine. And then you're just gonna take that at your pace. Hands on the ground, curl the tailbone up, roll up through the spine, come to your highest point, and then roll back down. So upper back, middle back, low back, hips touch down. So we're going to start by curling the tailbone up, roll on up through the spine, and then roll your way back down. Beautiful. You're already halfway there. Take it nice and slow. Think of this just as your warm-up. We got 2 more minutes of warming up, and then we get into the meat of our work. So take this with a little bit of a slowness, just tuning in, giving a little time to create a little space in the vertebrae as you roll up, and then a little space as you roll down. You got 10 seconds left. And time, nicely done. Okay, once your butt touches down, we're moving right into some alternating knee pulls. So right knee is gonna come in towards the chest, and then the left, you're gonna keep your foot hovering off the ground as it extends out nice and long towards the end of your mat. And still thinking of this as a warm-up minute, but if you want a little extra work, you can curl up the head, neck, and chest and keep that lifted chest and chin as you alternate those knee pulls, but only if that feels like where your energy is at this morning, if you want that bigger amount of work. If it feels better to keep your head down, keep it down so you can just tune in and find a little stretch in your glutes and a little movement in the hips. "20 seconds left. And time, nicely done. Okay, bring your legs into a tabletop position and arms in your dead bug. So arms are straight out from the chest, and we're gonna think about pushing the low back into the ground so we maintain a nice stable core. And we're gonna start to alternate fire hydrants in reverse. So drop one knee out to the side and then the other. And while you drop that knee out to the side, the arms are going to stay in a nice stationary position, using lots of control from your center. So keep pushing that low back into the ground to maintain that stable center. Arms are going to stay nice and steady here. Gaze is up towards the ceiling, and you drop one knee out and then the other. And you try to maintain that nice 90-degree bend with your leg. So you're moving out of your hip with a little bit of external rotation. You're already halfway there. Nice work. "15 seconds left. You got this." Beautiful, Karen. Nice form. Yes, Robbie, that looks awesome. Yes, Liz, nice. Judy, yes. You guys look good. Nice and stable. That's awesome. All right, and that's time. Okay, grab your hand weights. We're going to take it right into a chest press. So with our back down on the ground, you're going to load your weights right at your chest. Elbows nice and wide, feet nice and planted on the ground. You're pushing those weights right up towards the ceiling and lowering back down with control. If you can, a nice heavy set of weights will do the trick. So you're really finding that nice good work. So we're just pressing our weights up towards the ceiling. Elbows come nice and wide, lower with control. And if you're working with lighter weights, two different versions you can go with. You can go super fast, get a bunch of reps in, or you can go super duper slow in both directions. So working a negative as you come down and working slowly as you go up. So you create your own sense of resistance. So if you're working with lighter weights, but you want to find that extra work, maybe you just play around with the tempo that you're going. If you're working with heavier weights, a steady pace, making sure that your back is nice and heavy on the ground. So if your chest is heaving up or your ribs are flaring up to try to push that weight up towards the ceiling, you might be a little bit too heavy in the weight. So make sure you're staying nice and safe, nice and stable. Beautiful. You got 3 seconds left. And time. Nicely done. Okay, set your weights off to the side. Now we're going to grab our theraband and we're going to come back to our dead bug position, but we're going to play around with the external rotation that we're working from. So you're going to catch, hold, loop your theraband around the bottoms of your feet, and then you're going to get a fairly nice firm hand hold, finding that dead bug position. Once you've got that dead bug position, you're going to alternate, but you're going to kick one foot out to the side. And I'm going to turn sideways just to make sure that you get a sense of what my feet and my legs are doing. So wrap the theraband around the bottoms of the feet, find your dead bug position. Knees are going to stay even and in line with each other, and you're just going to push one foot out to the side and then push the other foot out to the side. So everything else is going to stay nice and stable. You're working your grip, and then you're kicking that foot out. And this is a great position to try to work in, and then see if you really want to maintain that nice even position between your knees as you kick the foot out. So think about turning your leg out to the side rather than the fire hydrant position. So knees are going to stay in that same even position, and you're just pushing your heel outward and then pull it back in, push the other heel out and pull it back in. Really focusing on just maintaining that dead bug position. So you're working your grip, you're working your core, and you're working the inner thighs and outer thighs to find that external rotation. Keep it nice and slow and steady so you find the work. It doesn't have to be super fast. And those are really small, fine motor muscles. So you're not going to get a big, you're not going to, it's not like you're working in your quadriceps, right? So it's going to be, might feel a little bit smaller or a little bit more subtle. And time. Nicely done. Okay, take that TheraBand, set it off to the side, and then we're going to move right into some knee rock. So we're going to hold on to the right knee, left leg is going to go nice and long, and we're going to start to rock and roll up. The foot's going to touch the ground, and then you're going to roll yourself back. So you're going to hang on to just that right knee. We're working the right knee for 30 seconds. So you're going to go as fast or as slow as you like. It's a nice rock and roll. Let the hips lift up off the ground. Come all the way up. Beautiful, you guys. Nice work. 10 more seconds with this leg. All right, and then switch. Hold on to your left knee, send your right leg nice and long, and right back to that rock and roll. Nice, we got 15 seconds left. You got this. All right, the next time you come rock and roll up, stay up, and then we're gonna take it into a high kneel position. So you're gonna spin your legs around, come onto both knees. If you need to cushion your knees, take a second to do so. And then we're coming back to our hand weights. So we're gonna be in that high kneel position, and we're gonna do some chest bumps. So you're gonna think about crossing across the body towards the shoulder, and you're gonna try and maintain that nice, stable position with the body. So knees are nice and anchored on the ground. A light little squeeze in the glutes and a little firmness in your abdominal muscles so that your torso's mostly staying nice and stable, and you're finding the work coming out of the shoulders, out of the triceps, and out of the biceps. Beautiful. And then it's just a light little touch to the shoulder, so we're not going to injure ourselves. We're going to keep it nice and stable and controlled. And then if you want just that little extra bit of work, as you come down, you're not going to let the weight touch your thighs. You're going to keep it a bit of a farmer's carry. So the weights are going to stay about 4 inches away from your thighs the whole time. Perfect, you guys. Nice. We got 15 seconds left. And time. Beautiful work. All right, set your weights down just up in front of your mat, just so they're a little bit out and off of the way. And then we're going to come into a tabletop position. So we're going to hover our table, pick your knees up. You might choose to just stay here. You might choose to just transfer a little weight from side to side. But if that's all feeling good and you want to go to the next level, you're going to switch your weight to one side, kick the foot through, set it down, take it over to the other side, and kick your foot through. Only if that feels like a stable position for your shoulders. If it's no good for your shoulders and your wrists, you're going to keep in that lower position. Maybe just transfer the weight, or maybe you keep your knees down on the ground the whole time and just play around with transferring your weight from hand to hand. But if it's all feeling good and you've got lots of energy this morning, take it into that kick through. And then if you really want that big challenge as you kick through, you're going to try and touch the toe. And then the same thing on the other side. Nice, you got 15 seconds left. And time, beautiful job. Set those knees down, come up to that high kneel position. And now we're gonna step the right foot forward. We're gonna find a lunge first. And then from here, you're gonna curl your back toes under, pick your back knee up, lower your back knee down. Does not have to be super high. 30 seconds on this side. If it feels like it's a little much to stay with that upright chest, you're gonna bring your hands down to the ground or use your weights as kickstands, and you're just finding a little strength to pick that back knee up and lower it with control. So we're not slamming the knee down onto the ground. We got 10 more seconds on this side. Hands can be on the ground. You can use your weights or hands to your hips to find that bigger strength. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, we're going to switch our lunge. Step that foot back. The other foot's going to step forward. Get your lunge set up first. And then when you're ready, curl the back toes under and away we go. Pick the back knee up and lower it with control. 30 seconds on this side. You take the variation that works good for you. So hands might be down on the ground. You might use your weights as a little kickstand, so it brings the floor up to meet your hands a little bit. Or you might choose to stay in that more upright position, hands on the hips, and find that strength in your legs. You got it. 7 seconds left. And time. Nice job. All right, we're going to come up to a standing position. So if you can, hands free, come all the way on up, grab your hand weights, and we're going to take it into a little bit of a staggered stance. So right foot's going to step slightly back. We're going to take it into a staggered stance squat. So you're going to push the butt down and back, touch the ground. As you come up, give a little bicep curl, palms roll in so that they come up towards the shoulders. Touch down to the ground, and then up you come, give that bicep curl. Beautiful. As you lower into that staggered stance squat, you want to think about pushing your butt down and back. Keep your chest and chin lifted. So most of the work is coming out of your quadriceps and your glutes. "25 seconds left. Nice work." And time. Beautiful. Switching sides. So we're going to stick with those weights, stick with that staggered stance, but just switch. So the other foot is forward. Find your stance, and then away we go. We touch down to the ground, bring it up, give that bicep curl, push your butt down and back. And then as you come up, you just flip those palms. So palms are facing inward towards the shoulders. Nice. "17 seconds to go. You got this." And time. Awesome job. All right, we're going to take it right into our deadlifts. So feet are going to be about hip or shoulder distance apart, toes and knees pointing fairly forward. A little micro bend in the knees, hinge from your waist. A nice long spine, reach down towards the ground, come up and squeeze the glutes. Use your glutes and your hamstrings to find the lift in this movement. So we keep that nice long spine, hinging from the hips. Fold yourself over, come up and give a little squeeze. Go as fast or as slow as feels appropriate to you. If you're using heavy weights, a little bit slower so you pay attention to your movement. If you're using light weights and you've got the movement pattern down, you might choose to pick up the pace just a little bit to get some extra reps in. You're already halfway there. Nice work. And time. Awesome job. All right. Next up is going to be reverse flies. And if you like, you can switch over to a lighter weight just in case your shoulders need just a little bit lighter weight in that position. So we're going to come back to that bent over position, a little bend in the knees, hinge from your waist. Arms are going to hang down in front of you. And we're just going to draw the arms out to the side, lower them back down with control. A lighter weight if your shoulders need that extra bit of care. If you're working with a heavier weight, just take it slow and mindful and make sure most of the work is coming out of the lats and the shoulders, and you're not trying to throw your whole back up to move those weights. So let most of the work come out of the shoulders, the lats, and you might even notice it in the armpit chest, but make sure it's a nice controlled movement, a little firmness in your belly, a little micro bend in your elbows. So all your joints stay nice and protected. Beautiful, you guys. Nice work. 5 seconds left. And time. Nicely done. Come on up. You can change over to your heavier weights if you like, or no weights at all. But the next bit of work is going to be a little side stepping. So if you choose your weights, you're just going to load them up at the shoulders. And we're going to start to walk across our mat. So step the foot that's furthest away from the end that you're walking towards. That's the foot that's going to come across. And then once you make it to the other end, you're going to switch and the other foot's going to step in front and across. So we're walking with a little bit of purpose, side stepping. So we pay attention to that sideways movement. It's not a natural way to move, usually speaking. So we want to make sure that we keep those muscles nice and engaged so that we can move our bodies in all the directions that we want to. Nice, you guys, beautiful. And then if you want that little extra bit of work, as you keep those weights loaded up at your shoulders, you're going to hold them off the shoulders so your arms and upper body stay engaged the whole time. Cross the same foot over in one direction. And then when you switch directions, you switch your feet. Nice, you guys, beautiful work. And time. All right, stick with those heavy weights if you like, but this is going to have an overhead press. So we're going to take it into a nice little squat. And then as you come up, you're going to shift to one side, pick the leg, kick it out to the side, back to your squat, and kick the leg out. As you kick the leg out, you're going to take a nice overhead press. So the major work that we're shooting to find is that leg lift out to the side. So if adding the overhead press feels like it's not going to be beneficial, leave that part off and just kick the leg out to the side. But if it feels comfortable to do so, as you rise up and kick that leg out, press your arms up and overhead. Nice. If it feels good to do the overhead press, but the weight's too much, leave the weights off. You're already halfway there. So you'll just sink into your squat, reach your arms up and overhead, and then take it to the other side. Nice. And time. Awesome job. Okay, now we're going to take it into a monster walk, and then we're going to hustle to the back of our mat. So start down at one end of your mat, and we're going to keep it into a nice low squatty position. Step to one side, step to the other side. So we're going to find that nice diagonal crisscross walk. And then once you make it to the front end of your mat, hustle on back. So we step to the side, keep that low position so the legs stay engaged the whole time. And then take a little speed to come back to the end of your mat. That speed that you work with, just make sure that you know where you're going. So you're not going to trip over anything. But once you've got that down and you know where you're going, can you find a little speed as you find your way to the back end of your mat? And then as you come forward, make sure you keep a nice bend in the knees. Keep it nice and low. Keep your legs engaged the whole time. Beautiful, you guys. Nice work. And time. Woo! Awesome job. Okay, we're going to grab our theraband. The last two bits of work that we're going to do, again, are going to address some more subtle muscle groups. So this one we want to be just a little bit mindful of. If you've got any head or neck stuff going on, be super, super mindful. So we're going to take our theraband and put it around the back of your neck, kind of like you're wearing a scarf. So we're going to try and get it as wide against the back of the neck as you can. And then once you've got it around your neck, you're going to take your hands forward and put just a little bit of tension on your theraband. Once you've got that tension there, you're going to start to push your head down and back. And I'm going to move my TheraBand out of the way just so you can make sure you see what we've got going on. So you're going to make a little double chin. You're going to pull the chin down and in, pushing the head back, pushing against the TheraBand. So we create a little bit of resistance and then push back and then release, holding that tension on the TheraBand the whole time, finding that work through the back of the neck, maybe down into the shoulders a little bit. So we push the head back and tuck the chin slightly. So we make that little demi double chin and then release just to a natural position of the head. But the entire time, we're maintaining a little bit of tension on the TheraBand. So we're finding a little bit of resistance to push back into it and then release. Pay attention though to make sure that you're not injuring yourself or causing any stress on the neck. If this feels like it's too much, release the TheraBand and maybe just work range of motion in the head. But if it feels okay to keep that tension there, hold that tension and tuck the chin. Nicely done. And that's time. Okay, but we're going to stick with this TheraBand for one last minute of work. So we're going to take it into a sumo squat. So nice wide position, sink your butt down, get a nice firm grip, palms facing up on, and we're going to keep our elbows hugged in at our sides. So we're going to hold that sumo squat, hold this bent elbow position. And now we're just going to move our wrists. So with the palms facing up, one wrist is going to pull out just a little bit, and then the other side. So we're going to alternate sides. Everything else is going to stay as stable as it can. Elbows hugged in at the ribs, pull one wrist, and then the other. So it's a super small maneuver. There's not a lot of big action. You might just see the little tail ends of your TheraBand move just a little bit. And if you need to, look at your wrist, watch it happen. Pull the thumb out. So you feel that little sideways motion of the wrist, but nothing more than that. Nice. And now we're going to take it with that same position, but the full arm is going to pull out to the side. So we're going to hold on tight, nice firm grip, alternating sides, keeping the elbows hugged in at the ribs. Nice, you guys, beautiful. Now check your spine here. If you look down at your wrist before to just see what was going on, just find that upright position now. So you really find that work in the shoulders and the armpit chest. Hey, and time, nicely done. Okay, rise up, give your shoulders a good shake. We're gonna take that TheraBand, bring it behind you, and then find a little palm facing backwards position so you get a good gentle handhold, and then find a little space for your arms to move freely away from the body. Once you've got that nice good position, bend your knees, hinge from your waist, fold over, and let your arms fall away from the back of your body. When you're ready, hands come towards the low back, bend your knees, lift from the top of your head, come up nice and slow, and then take that TheraBand around to the front with a wide position. We're going to reach up and overhead, and then just get a sense of pushing the arms back with a light little bit of a sense of pulse. So not big pulsing movements, but just draw the arms back a little bit and then bring them forward just a little bit. Beautiful. One more pull back here. And then keep those arms up and overhead, but keep a little tension on the TheraBand. And we're just going to take a few gentle side bends here. Nice. One more bend each side. And then as you bring it back to center, arms are going to come out into the chest, and we're just going to take a couple of twists or rotations here. Try to keep your feet and your hips and your knees all anchored and facing forward. So most of the rotation is coming out of the torso from the belly button up. Beautiful. One more little twist side to side. And then set that TheraBand down. We're going to step the left leg across the right. So get a little crisscross, line up your pinky toes best you can. And then once you've got your legs crisscross, start to walk yourself down into a fold that feels right to you. So you're just going to go as far as feels comfortable. Don't worry about what your shape looks like, but hopefully maybe you'll find a little sensation either in the IT band or in your glutes, just depending on where you might be holding a little tension in your body. Cool. When you're ready, come up nice and slow and controlled. Take your time. Switch the cross in your legs so the other leg steps across. Line up your pinky toes best you can, and then back down into that folded position, just to a depth that feels good to you. And I should say, you might also feel it in your hamstrings. So just know there might be some subtle variations as to where you might feel this. Nicely done. When you're ready, come up nice and slow. Step your feet out nice and wide, a super wide position with the legs, and then take a nice big breath. Reach the arms up and overhead. We're going to hinge from the waist, reach long through the arms. Let your hands come all the way down to the ground if they can. And then if it feels available, you're going to walk your hands through your legs, past your heels, get a little reach through the fingertips, and let your head relax down. Awesome. When you're ready, walk yourself back forward, bend your knees, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll up nice and slow. And just for one last bit of fun, toe heel your feet in. Give everything a nice little shake. You guys are amazing. Nice work. Grab your foam roller if you're sticking around.